Blood moon rising. The night was still as Sarah made her way through the dense forest, the only sound the crunch of leaves beneath her feet. She had lost track of time, her heart pounding in her chest with each step she took deeper into the darkness. She had heard the stories, the legends whispered among the villagers about the blood moon rising, but she never truly believed them until now. As she walked, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows danced in the moonlight, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to follow her every move. She quickened her pace, her breath coming in ragged gasps as she tried to ignore the feeling of dread that hung heavy in the air. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the trees, causing Sarah to freeze in her tracks. She strained her ears, listening intently for any sign of movement, but all she heard was the sound of her own heartbeat pounding in her ears. Fear clawed at her insides as she realized she was not alone. Something was out there, lurking in the darkness, waiting to strike. With trembling hands, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a small flashlight, flicking it on to illuminate the path ahead. The beam of light cut through the darkness, revealing gnarled branches and twisted roots that seemed to reach out and grab at her as she passed. Every shadow seemed to come alive, morphing into grotesque creatures that slunk through the underbrush with eyes that gleamed in the darkness. Sarah's heart raced as she stumbled forward, her mind consumed with thoughts of escape. But no matter how fast she ran, the forest seemed to stretch on endlessly, trapping her in its grasp like a spider ensnaring its prey. Just when she thought she couldn't go on any longer, Sarah stumbled into a clearing, the moon casting an eerie glow over the desolate landscape. In the center of the clearing stood a crumbling stone altar, its surface stained with dark, sticky stains that glistened in the moonlight. A sense of dread washed over Sarah as she realized where she was. This was the place the villagers had warned her about, the site of the blood moon rising. Panic clawed at her throat as she turned to flee, but it was too late. The ground beneath her feet began to tremble as a deep, guttural chanting filled the air. Sarah's blood ran cold as she watched in horror as the moon above began to change, its once silver surface turning a deep, crimson red. With a deafening roar, a figure emerged from the shadows, its eyes burning with an otherworldly fire as it stepped into the clearing. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she stared at the creature before her, its twisted form bathed in the light of the blood moon. She knew then that there was no escape. The legends were true, and she was about to become another victim of the blood moon rising. As the creature advanced, Sarah closed her eyes and whispered a silent prayer, her fate sealed by the darkness that surrounded her. And as the moon reached its zenith, casting a crimson glow over the forest below, Sarah's screams echoed through the night, lost to the darkness forever.